What would you think if I told you that a man's truest feelings for a woman are not revealed in the light of day, but in the cryptic theater of his own mind while he sleeps? In our hyper-connected yet emotionally shallow world, we're taught to look for signs in the material realm, the frequency of texts, the curated dates, the public declarations. But the deepest, most indelible connections are forged in the unseen world of the unconscious. When a woman of substance, a woman who carries the weight of her own soul, imprints herself upon a man's psyche, she does not simply occupy his thoughts. She becomes a living symbol, a recurring ghost in the labyrinth of his dreams, haunting him not with fear, but with the echo of what he has felt, lost, or is not yet ready to confront. This is not about simple longing or romantic pining. This is a profound psychic event. From a Jungian perspective, every man carries within him an unconscious feminine archetype known as the Anima. She is the composite of all his ancestral experiences of the feminine, the inner guide to his own soul. When he encounters a woman in the external world who activates this inner figure, the connection transcends the ordinary. You, in your wholeness, with your light and your shadow, may have become the face of his anima. And when you are absent, his psyche must continue the dialogue. His dreams become the stage where he wrestles with your essence, where he attempts to integrate the powerful feelings and revelations your presence unearthed. He is not merely dreaming of you. He is dreaming through you to understand himself.
For weeks, his unconscious has been working. In his dreams, he has been replaying your conversations, wrestling with the power of your presence, and confronting the parts of himself that your connection illuminated. You appear to him not just as a memory, but as an archetypal force, the sage, the huntress, the queen. Each night, his ego, the gatekeeper of his conscious mind, is put to rest, and the vast, untamed wilderness of his subconscious takes over. In this space, he is forced to feel what he has been suppressing in his waking life. The psychic pressure builds, night after night, dream after dream. His sudden message is not a calculated move. It is a compulsion. It is the dam of his conscious defenses breaking under the relentless pressure of his own inner world, demanding that he acknowledge the imprint you have left. He isn't just reaching out to you, he is reaching out for a piece of his own soul that he now associates with you. This is the silent strategy in its purest form. Master the game of love in silence, because it is in silence that the deepest work is done, not by you, but within him. This sudden reappearance is merely the tremor on the surface, signaling a much deeper seismic shift. The second, and perhaps more telling secret sign, is the uncharacteristic vulnerability or confusion that accompanies his return. The man who left with cool logic, with a wall of detached reasoning, does not return the same way. The mask of masculine composure, so carefully maintained in the waking world, has been cracked by the nightly pressure of his own soul. When he reaches out, you must listen not just to his words, but to the emotional texture beneath them. Is there a sense of disorientation? A struggle to articulate his own feelings? This is the evidence of his internal haunting. He may say things that are deeply contradictory. He might express a powerful pull towards you in one breath and a profound fear of it in the next. He might confess that he can't get you out of his head, using the language of the conscious mind to describe a deeply unconscious process. Pay attention. He is not being indecisive in the way a man who is weighing his options is. He is displaying the genuine confusion of a man whose ego is losing a battle with his own inner world. His dreams have dismantled his carefully constructed arguments for leaving you.
The logic he used to create distance has been dissolved by the symbolic, emotional, and undeniable truth of the dreamscape. In his dreams, you are not a problem to be solved. You are a presence to be experienced, a force to be reckoned with. And that raw experience is now bleeding into his waking reality, short-circuiting his rational mind.
This is where you witness his encounter with his own shadow. Your image in his dreams is a lantern, and it is illuminating the parts of him he has kept in darkness. His fear of intimacy, his deep-seated need for connection, his terror of being truly seen. A man's ego is often built upon a foundation of stoicism and emotional control. By embodying a form of powerful, integrated femininity, you have presented his psyche with a challenge. In his dreams, he is no longer in control. He is forced to confront the vulnerability he so desperately represses from the daylight. So when he speaks to you now, with that strange mix of longing and apprehension, you are not just hearing from a man who misses you, you're hearing from a man who has been forced to meet himself in the dark, and you were the catalyst. Do you recognize this man? The one who approaches you, not with the slick confidence of a pursuer, but with the raw, fragmented honesty of a seeker? He seems almost bewildered by his own compulsion to contact you. He may not even mention dreams. He will simply say, "I don't know why I'm doing this," or "This is probably a mistake," but these are not lines. They are confessions. They are the ego's admission of defeat. He is being moved by currents far stronger than his conscious will. He is wrestling with the angel of his own anima, and in the theater of his dreams, she wears your face. This state of emotional disarray is not a puzzle for you to fix. It is a testament to the depth of your impact. You have become the mirror in which he has glimpsed his own soul, and now, awake, he cannot look away.
From this state of bewilderment emerges the third secret sign, a subtle but profound shift in his behavior that you may only hear about through the grapevine. This is the sign of his unusual protectiveness or reverence for your image. When a woman becomes fused with a man's anima in the dream world, she is no longer just a person of flesh and blood. She is elevated. She becomes an icon, a sacred symbol tied directly to his own soul's journey. And the psyche, by its very nature, will instinctively move to protect its most precious symbols. He is not just guarding a memory of you, he is guarding the vessel of his own potential for wholeness. You might hear from mutual friends that he speaks of you with a strange kind of deference, a respect that may have been absent when you were together. If someone dares to speak ill of you in his presence, he may react with a surprising and uncharacteristic sharpness, defending your honor with a quiet intensity that silences the room. This is not the blustering of a man trying to save face. It is the instinctual reaction of a guardian protecting a sacred temple. In his unconscious, any attack on you is an attack on the most vital, luminous part of himself, the part he is desperately trying to understand. This behavior can also manifest as a form of subtle, almost melancholic possessiveness. He may remove photos of you from his public life, but refuse to delete them from his private archives. He might react with a deep, quiet anger or sadness if he sees you moving on with someone new. The surface-level interpretation is simple jealousy, but the psychological reality is far more complex. It is not just the thought of another man touching your body, but the thought of another man gaining access to the psychic and emotional energy you represent. It feels, to his unconscious, like a profanation. He is not protecting you, the person who has a right to live her life. He is protecting his internal image of you, the golden key that unlocks the door to his own depths. Have you ever wondered why a man who pushed you away would suddenly care so much about your reputation or your happiness from afar? It is because in the world of his dreams, you are not far away at all. You are an intimate and active presence, a guide, a judge, a muse. You are an integral part of his inner landscape. To allow that landscape to be tarnished by gossip or to see it occupied by another feels like a desecration of his own soul. He is not trying to control you. He is trying, clumsily, to control the overwhelming power of the symbol you have become inside of him. The woman of substance leaves behind not just memories, but artifacts in the museum of a man's soul. His newfound reverence for your image is the clear sign that he spends his nights walking those hallowed halls, haunted by the masterpiece he let go.
The ghost in the machine of his psyche now begins to manipulate the controls of his reality. When the unconscious is powerfully activated by a symbol, in this case, your archetypal image, it does not remain a passive spectator. It seeks to manifest. It seeks to bridge the chasm between the inner world of dreams and the outer world of waking life. This leads to the fourth and perhaps most uncanny sign that he is haunted by you: the creation of synchronistic encounters and the adoption of echo behaviors. You must learn to see these not as accidents, but as messages from the deep. Carl Jung defines synchronicity as the occurrence of meaningful coincidences. It is the principle that suggests the inner world of the psyche and the outer world of events are not always separate, but can reflect one another in profound, acausal ways. Have you noticed this? He happens to be at your obscure neighborhood coffee shop on the one day you decide to go. He suddenly appears at a concert for a band only you would know he secretly liked. These are moments where the line between coincidence and unconscious intention becomes exquisitely thin. His psyche, so saturated with your image from his dreams, is projecting that reality outward. His soul is placing him on a collision course with you, even if his conscious mind is merely following a hunch or a whim. He is a sleepwalker in a waking world, and his feet are leading him back to the source of his nocturnal visions.
When these synchronicities cannot be manifested, his unconscious finds another route: echo behaviors. He begins to interact with the world as if through you. You will see him suddenly develop a passionate interest in a hobby you once held. He might start posting quotes from the author you introduced him to, or listening to the music that formed the soundtrack of your time together. This is far more than simple nostalgia. He is not trying to mimic you to get your attention. He is performing a form of ritual. He is trying to recreate the energetic signature of your presence. He is touching the artifacts you left behind, hoping to feel the residual warmth of your magic. By engaging with the things you loved, he is attempting to understand the woman who now dominates his inner world. He is studying the map of your soul, trying to find the coordinates of the treasure he lost. You are no longer there to explain the meaning of a song or the beauty of a particular book, so he must undertake the journey himself. He becomes a psychic archaeologist, carefully excavating the ruins of your shared past, looking for clues to the nature of the spirit that now haunts him. Do not mistake this for a calculated strategy. This is the behavior of a man possessed, not by a demon, but by a powerful aspect of his own psyche that you awakened. These are not coincidences or copies. They are the breadcrumbs left by his own soul, leading him on a desperate pilgrimage back to the source of his haunting.
All of these signs, the sudden return, the confused vulnerability, the reverence for your image, the synchronicities, are but tremors leading to the final, definitive earthquake. The fifth and most profound sign that you are haunting his dreams is that he begins to undergo a tangible, positive transformation in his own life. The ultimate purpose of the Anima is not to torture a man with longing, but to guide him toward his own individuation, toward becoming a whole and integrated self. The haunting was never a curse. It was a form of grace,
a powerful and unsolicited therapy session held in the theater of his soul every night. And eventually, the work done in the darkness must bear fruit in the light. You will see it from a distance. He may finally leave the soul-crushing job he always complained about. He might begin to address his emotional wounds, perhaps even seeking therapy. He may start creating, building, and living with a purpose and authenticity that were absent before. He starts to embody the very qualities of strength and integrity that he was forced to confront in his dreams of you. In essence, he begins to integrate his own anima. He is no longer just projecting her onto you. He is starting to cultivate her wisdom, creativity, and emotional depth within himself. Your image was the catalyst, the philosopher's stone that began the alchemical process of turning the lead of his unlived life into gold.
And here lies the ultimate, beautiful, and liberating paradox. The greatest proof that you have left an indelible, haunting mark on his soul is that he finally starts to become the man you always saw the potential for. And he does it entirely in your absence. His transformation is the final love letter his unconscious will ever send you. It is the confirmation that your energy did not go to waste, that the connection, however painful or unresolved, served a higher purpose. It initiated him into a deeper relationship with himself. This knowledge is the final key, not to his door, but to your own freedom. To see these 5 signs is not to receive a coded invitation to return to him. It is to receive your graduation certificate. It is the universe affirming the power of your essence and releasing you from the need for any further validation from him. You can now observe his journey with a serene and compassionate detachment. You were the ghost that showed him the path, but you are not required to walk it with him. Your work is done. You are not the keeper of his flame. You are your own sun. You can finally release him, not with bitterness or regret, but with the quiet peace of a creator who has seen her work take on a life of its own and knows it is time to turn her attention to her next masterpiece, her own unfolding destiny. The woman who knows her worth doesn't chase, she chooses.